Hello, good morning to you all. Yeah, this week, I hope you are all doing well. You are loving, you are having fun, and you are loving the class. Yeah, from the visualizations, I know you guys are loving the visualizations in Python. But yeah, we are this week, as I said, we are on SQL, and that's what. Okay, so what we are going to do is this one. I just saw a question in the group that no connection. That was by Terasite or so, right? Okay, so let's look at that fast because this week it seems this week we've not done much, we've not done enough, right? So let's do that. I'm going to look at we are going to solve that problem, right? So normally when you are here, when you are here and it is and you are seeing that no connection. Yeah, I think you try sometimes you try to connect and it is still not connecting, right? If that's the case, and I think that is your case. Sorry, I think can you all hear me before I even start work? I hope you are, can you all hear me? A thumbs up if you are hearing me, right? And thumbs up those here. Let me just know that you can hear me and so on, right? A thumbs up. Okay. Hello, are you here? Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. Okay. It means I have to continue. Okay. So yes, the problem was with I think you were not getting when you have such issues. I think all you need to do when you are trying to connect from here and it is still not connecting, then maybe it could be that the SQL server is not hasn't has stopped have stopped running. It is not running. Maybe that is the reason why the workbench is not able to connect with the server, right? So we have to find a way to start the server manually, right? We have to start it manually. So to do that, we can just go back like this. We can just go back. When we are back like this, then we just go to your search. Go to your search. Search for what? Services. Services. So when you search for services, you get this. Open the services that are running. So you see the services that are running on my laptop currently. So all you need to do to look for is what? Look for MySQL. Look for what? MySQL. So you just need to. So I need to look for MySQL. MySQL. So I scroll down. I know it is at the M side, right? So when I go, I keep going. So I'm at M. You see that? So I have my SQL 80 is here. You see that? It is running. Mine is running. Imagine if I stop, let me stop it. It is running, so I'm stopping it. I'm stopping it. So it has stopped. Let me go back here. I think I should be having I should be good. You see that? I'm getting what? Get schema data unable to connect to local host. unable to connect to local host. I think that was what you were facing. Unable to what? Connect to local host. And it will be here buzzing. That's unable. You are unable to connect to local host. So I just need to go there. Then, as I said, just click on it. When you click on it, you can either go here, click on start here, or you right click. Right click. When you right click, you can see what start. So when I start it, it will start from here. When you do this and you see that it is running. That's all. There's nothing more to do again. You can just, now that it is running, I can close this. Then I come here and I hope that see, I just refreshed my database, and now since I was able to connect to it, and it is because it is running, I've been able to connect with it. So it is running, right? So that is it, right? I hope, yeah, this should answer the question that was asked in the group about no connection. Okay, so yes, that is it. We are done with that. So we just move to what today's work, right? So today we'll start with what data types. So let me a comment to type a comment in this in my SQL. I just need to do this. I just need to use a hash. Then that's a single line comment. So we want to do what data types. Data types. When we're doing, I want us to do this because when I was doing a table, when I was creating a table, I had to say create table, then I had to specify the column name, and I said the column is an int, the column is what? A varchar, a column is what? This one. So it means the data type, as I said, the data type is very important. You have to know the data types that you are using, or when you are creating what? The column, right? Uh-huh. When I have, please, I have a pop-up with SQL additions on my. How do I remove that? A pop-up. I'm not getting what you're saying. Maybe send it into the group. Send a picture of what you are seeing into the group. Maybe we'll see. I don't. I'm not getting this one. Right. Okay. So let's look at the data types. That problem is solved. The first issue is solved. Right. So as I said, we will look at what data types in Python and in SQL, right? Most especially MySQL, right? So we say we must always specify what for data types. In creating, we must always specify what the data type that will be inserted in each column of the table. So in creating a table, you have to specify. If you don't specify, then nah, it will not work. Yeah, the other time when you remember the Tuesday when I did the changes, when I increased the sizes, I just needed to restart the whole workbench again. I think you see when I restarted the workbench, now the sizes are bigger enough for you to see. I just needed to restart, then start it, and you'll be okay, right? Okay. So yes, so there are different types of data types as we saw in what Python, right? So in Python we saw strings, numbers, which were integers and floats and all those sort of things, right? Date time, the same thing over here. It is just the same thing over here. So we're looking at what string data, strings, the same strings that we have, the same strings that we were seeing in what Python. So we'll look at strings here, right? We'll look at strings over here. So over here, when you are determining, when you are where most of the data types that most especially the string and especially the string and the numerical ones, it will be the difference will just be on the storage that it will occupy. One thing that is very important over here is that the more you use your database takes up more space, or it occupy more space, then the difficult it becomes for you to access element, like the execution times normally becomes more when the file when the it is big, right? But when it is lighter, the execution time becomes what? lesser, smaller. So that means it becomes faster. So mostly it will be good to always look for something, a data type that the size will be smaller. At the same time, it will also favor what you are doing, right? It will also favor what you are doing. Okay, so yes, string. As I said, string is just what? Just text, more of like things that are not numbers. Strings, just like the string that we saw in column. So, for example, names, names of any names of persons, names of anything, right? They are what? Um, so when we say, for instance, the string that we saw in I mean in Python. So when you say what, James is here or Theo is here, Theo is here, right? This is a string. This is a string, right? This is a string. So, and when we are talking about strings to here in MySQL, then my SQL problems have been solved. Daniel, okay. Connection problem have been solved. Good, good, good. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we are talking about for the strings, as I'm saying. We also the thing that you have to look out for is what the length of the symbol. So till has how many letters? Four. That means the length is what? Five. Four. And we'll look at how to use these things, right? Okay, so let me do this. Let me make a general one thing. Another thing is to where the hash is for a single line comment. If I want to write a multiple line, a multi-line comment, I just need to backslash then a star. Then I can start typing anything inside here, right? So as I said, if I was doing till had till was of how many letters? That is about four symbols, right? Four symbols. It is important to note. It is important because we'll be seeing the use of it, right? And most important, mostly for string, how this thing is calculated is by maybe the symbols that are there. So this one byte will be equivalent to more of like one symbol. So if for instance to like this, it will be like what, 4 bytes. So 4 bytes, that will add up to, as I said, in general, all your if you it will add all your thing, everything in your database, and the bytes, and it will in general it will end up in the size of your database. And as I said, it matters when you are querying your database, because the lesser the size, the faster it is to query to get your output, right? The lesser the size, the faster it is to get your queries, right? Okay, so yes, let's go. So we've said what so let's look at the string one. The string, all the string data have what? Mainly these two different types that we normally call. Here we don't call it. The last time you saw me, I think I used varchar when I said names. Or so there are two. So the two string data types are there are two string data types, and that is what? Character. In short, we call it what? When we are doing it, we say char or car, char, right? Char, and you just bring bracket open, bracket close. Then we normally specify of the length of what? The length of the letters that will be entered there. The other one is what? Variable character, character character. In short, that one is what? Varchar, right? Varchar over here. The difference between these two is that the first one, the char, has when you are dealing with it, you need to know the elements that you'll be entering there. You know that, oh, maybe they have a fixed number of length that you'll be entering, right? For instance, you have a column in which the people you are asking for, let's say, let let me I want something that will be constant, something that will be constant. Maybe let's see this one, the shortcut for, um okay, I want this. Okay, I want this. What is normally a code, a short code? No, I want. Okay, maybe countries. Yeah, you are giving. Yeah, I want this thing that will be so simple to get, so simple example. So imagine, you want people to enter their, they should enter their countries. So country, you have a column, you are creating a column named country, and you expect maybe the shortcuts. Then maybe the person will keep what, UK as United Kingdom, GH as Ghana. You see that UK as United Kingdom, GH as Ghana, N what? N what? Nigeria is what? NI also. Then yeah, and so on. So you know that in that particular column, everybody will enter what? Just two letters, just two symbols, two symbol words that the people will enter. So then you know that. Then you use what? You specify. So when you are creating your table and you say, oh, column, when you create the column name, then you want to give the data type. You see that when you want to give the data type, then you say what? It's just like this. When you are creating the, so when you say car, let's say, uh so like this. So when you come here, you say create table, right? Create table. When you say create table, and you say maybe students, students. Oh, sorry, student students, like this. When you do like this, then you bring your brackets. That's the syntax for creating a table. When you say create table, you need to specify the columns that are there. So you want to say, country, country, country. Now we can specify what the data type of this country, and we can now say what this is, what, a character of what, length what, 2, like this. So we can just specify like this, right? So when we end our statement, we are done. We are creating a table name what? We are creating a table name what? Students. One column, we are saying that there will be a column called what? Country. And the elements that will be there are just two. So immediately someone tries to insert data, someone is inputting data into this table, and he enters anything more than two letter words there will be an error. The person will encounter an error, right? Hmm. Okay, so that is for character. So if the number of words that you think that the constant word is five, you specify five. You know that everybody will be inputting words, at least the symbols that will be inputted will not be more than five words. So you know it is five, right? But for this one, with character, the moment we say, in creating the table, we say it is five, then it means, my SQL will allocate 5 bytes, 5 bytes, meaning this one, it knows that even if somebody enters a single letter, the space that will allocated for that word is what? 5 bytes, right? That's where the other one comes in, the voucher comes in, because the voucher is what? The name even says what? It varies. Variable character. It allows you to vary, right? So when, for varying character, imagine we want to do the same thing, we want to create the same table, but we want to use voucher, because voucher allows it varies. So in a situation whereby you say, oh, okay, enter. So we for instance, let me go inside here, comma, I'm creating another one called name, uh name, right? I'm creating another column called what? Name. And name. I think, yeah, name. and name goes for, let me see, voucher, and that one has to be, I say, with all the names that, maybe our first names, everybody's first name, none of us, there's no one that their first name will be more than 15 letter words. Then I say 15, right? If I do this and I go, then I'm done, because now name, if somebody enters more than a letter word that is more than 15, there will be a problem. That one there will be a problem. But if someone enters tio, which is 4, instead of it allocating the 15 bytes, it will rather allocate what? 4 bytes. Based on that, that one varies, but the other one was fixed. The voucher, that is the only difference. So if you want to use this, if you want to use it, that is the two when it comes to what? Strings, right? Those are the two when it comes to what? Strings. The another one that we can do is what? Enumerate. Enumerate, right? Enumerate allows you to, maybe, let's say enumerate is mostly like some boolean style. Oh, let me say some some words that you want people to alternate with. Maybe gender, you want either the people to select to keep rather male or female, M or F, right? True or false, those things. So when you have that one, that is also another enum. So that's this is it. That is what? Enum, right? It is just like this. And how do we write it? So we say enumerate. So we just say enum. Then we specify the word. So I say maybe m, then comma, then I put my other second word like this. So when I do this, when you are inputting, you have to either give me this or this, right? Those are the only things that it accepts, right? So this is the third one for strings. So we'll go to the next one, which is what? This was strings. Let me see data types. Let me come down here. Strings, strings, right? This was strings. So yes, strings. Okay, strings. No, let me keep going from here. So we'll go towards integers, right? So integers, when we talk about integers, any other thing that is numbers falls here, right? Whole numbers, integers, whole numbers without what? Decimal points, right? No decimal points, integers, right? Okay, so when we are talking about integers too, yeah, then there are more different stuff, right? There are more different stuff. We have what? Um uh, Integers. We have MySQL has what? Different, about, let me say, five different types. We have what? Tiny integer. We have what? Small integer, small int. We have what? Medium int. Then we have what? Then int itself. Then we have what? Big int, right? So all of these ones are just based on the sizes, right? They are just based on sizes. So if you have any, if it is in the tens and the hundreds, like when you know the numbers will be in tens and hundreds, then you go forward the small int, right? Because that's the size that will be allocated. When you know it is in ten thousands, then you can come for small int, right? You can come for small int. 10,000. So maybe somewhere from 10, 1, 2, 3. Then this is in the 10,000s. Then you need to come here, right? If it is in millions, if you start going to millions, then you go to medium int. Just that. But mostly I just go for, instead of we trying to look at, oh, this number, where does it fall? Normally I go for just int, right? Just go for int. Int solves a whole, even though it will allocate the size, I just go for int most times. Except that when you have trillions and other things, that you have to go for what? The big int. That is the last one, right? The sizes matter. So you just know these ones. So if you are creating the same way, so if we have this and we are creating another column in creating this table, in creating this students table, and we want to add another column called what? Age. Then we just say what? This one is what? Int, because it will be numbers, right? Hmm. So we just say this will be numbers. You see that? So you see that we are just making, so in order to make this beautiful, let me break them down this way. Let me break this thing down this way. Okay. Then I bring this one down, and I bring this one down like this, so that it is beautiful, or it is nice for you to see, right? I hope we are following and we are okay with what is happening so far, right? Okay, so yes, that was integers. I think we have to go with the next ones, decimal points, right? We have to go with, as we said, the integers were those without what? Decimal points. So now what of those with what? That those with decimal points. So decimals, there's this one. Decimal, we just have what? Are we here? Are we okay? Hello. Okay. So yes, the next one is what? Decimals. So decimals are very, very important. That is when you know the entries in a particular column will be what? Decimals. Then you need to specify. You just need to say what? It is a decimal. And how do we do this? When we say decimal, then we have to specify. There are two things that we have to specify. We have to specify the precision, and we have to specify what? The scale. The precision precision and what? Skill. Those are the two things that you have to think of. Precision and skill. Let's say we have what? 12 1 1 point, or let's say 15.12345. 15.1345. So let's say the precision is when you have this number, when you know this is a range that you'll be having, what you have to do, you want to say, oh, this column will contain numbers of this format, of this decimal points of this. You have to know the precision. The precision is just what? The total number, the total, all the numbers, how many numbers are there in general. So we just count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So 7, right? 7. How many numbers before? We have two numbers here, and after we have what? 5. So the precision will be what? So if we are declaring, we'll say what? The precision is what? 5. But now the scale is what? After the decimal points, how many numbers are there, right? So for this one, after the decimal points, we have what? 1 2 3 4 5. So in creating our column, what we will do is this. We'll say what? If we say, imagine I go to the top and I say what? This is what? Grade. This is the student's grade, right? This is the student's grade. Then I'll then have to give what? The data type, right? I'll then have to give the data type. So I'll say what? This is a decimal. But now when I go here, decimal, I have to specify the, as I said, what? The precision and the scale. So it will be what? 7 numbers, but the scale is what? 5. So that is it. So it means that's just it. The rules in SQL are just what we are still on, right? Okay. So yes, that is it for that, right? There's also another one called what? Numeric. Numeric also follows the same thing as what? Decimal. So numeric We can say numeric, then the same thing. We can say 7, the precision is 7, and the scale is what? 5. That equally works for it, right? The next one, another one is what? Float. We can say float, right? We can say float and it will still work, right? Float, the only difference is that float is here. So when I say float, I can equally say float has what? 7, and the precision is what? 3. But the problem with the difference between this one float and the ones that we've seen above is that for the decimal, imagine someone is entering for decimal. Now someone is inserting data and the person goes to enter what? 12.1234567, more than the scale that we did. Decimal will round it up, right? Decimal will round it up at the the fifth decimal place, right? But for float, you have a problem. It will tell you no, that it can't take that. You get an error, right? So that is the difference between those two, right? So yes, there are other data types too. We've seen the string, and the other one is what? Date. Date. So when we just say date, we have to just specify the structure. So right, we just have to date. So the other one is what? Date. Date. Then we have what? Date time. Date with time. Then if date, we have date with time. Then we are having what? Date time, right? Yeah, so yes, that is it for the data types that we wanted to look at. So there's what? Char, this is character, there's varchar, there's date time, there's integer, decimal, numeric, float, and yeah, that is it. So when we just know this, then so far, as we know this, then we can add it to in creating our data in creating our databases. I think I'll have to let you, maybe the first assignment you have to create a database and all this stuff. Okay, but no worry, as I said, no, I will not even, you will not even, don't worry. Okay, so yes, we have to revisit our. So now that we know our data type, you see that as I was doing the create, I was creating the table. So create table, that's what we did, right? And when if we want to create, no, let me end this. I have to end this. No, it is still in. You see that when in creating the in writing all of this, I started with what? I started with backslash and what? A star. So if I want to end the comment, I just need to bring star and what? Backslash, and I've ended it. You see that it will no longer continue. So when I go out, I'm no longer commenting again. That was it. The first one, a single line comment, was just using what? A hash, and I go, right? So I want to add the comment. I want to add this one over here. So normally, to so that you don't forget, when if you want to do any long thing like this, just start and end. Bring your back forward slash. I mean like this is what I want to say. If you know you want to do a multiple line comment, you can just say like this: backslash star. Then you go enter, you go down, and you just end it. Star backslash. Then now you go inside it and then start writing about, so that you don't forget that you opened this comment and you didn't close it. You see that when you do this, that is the best. So I can now go inside here and do. So now I want to say, I say what I want to write, the create the table, right? So create, if I want to create a table, I will say what? Create table, right? Create table, and now the table name, right? Table name, right? Table name. So for instance, we said we'll create table, then we said students. Now when you do this, you know you have to then input what? The columns. So you can write all on the same line, or you just make sure you do this so that when you come here, you are putting one column over here. You putting, so the column name. So let's say column one. Then the data type of that column, just as what so far that's what the data types that we've looked at. Now the other thing that we'll be looking at is what constraints, right? Constraints. So we'll add constraints so that you'll be complete in what? Creating a table, you'll be complete in creating a database and all those sort of things. So comma, after creating one column, adding all of that, you just need to separate it with a comma. Then you go for the next one, right? So column two. Then you go, that is the name of the column, the data type, the data type of the column. Then you have what? Constraints, constraints, right? So that is it, right? So the more columns you have, you just keep adding them. So when you finish, then you finish and you bring your semicolon, then you run the code, you'll be there, right? Okay, so that is it. So now that we know how to do it from here up to here, data type is left with what? Just the constraint, right? So look at the constraints too. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? I think we are together, right? I can see we are all together. That's what I like. Okay, we are all on the same page. Okay, nice, nice, nice. I can see we are all on the same page. So it means we can go on. As I said, these things, when we are talking about, we said we are working with what? Relational databases, right? So it means when we are creating a database is a collection of tables, right? So when we have tables, then there should be relations. There will be relations between each table. This table is related to this one. The last time, as I said, I gave the example, right? I used a picture when I was doing the demonstration, the first one. I said what? When there should be something here that you can link it with this table, right? And I talked about customer ID or all those things, right? How are we able in creating the tables? Those things, there are things that we have to specify, that we have to make known, right? So yes, we'll look at the first one, a primary key, right? We'll be looking at what a primary key is. Are we together? Okay. The constraints are just more of like, if I say constraints, they are just what? Rules. All right. They are just rules that will limit what a person can input, can add, right? So yes, let's look at the primary key. As I said, it allows you we use it to create when we create a primary key. You see that every table will have. You see that every table will have a primary key and probably several foreign keys, right? Right? You have a primary key and probably several foreign keys. Okay. So that is what the primary key is, what you use to what create the relationship with other tables. So so let's say for instance, we want to create as I said, we want to create what? A sales table, right? A sales table. So let's say we want to create a sales table, and that table there should be what? A purchase number or something, a purchase number. Yeah. So the purchase, somebody bought this, and it will be one thing about purchase number, then the purchase date, customer ID, item code. You see that we have these four things that should be in our sales table. So let's start. Let's just write that first. Before, which table are we using? Um, we don't have a database yet. We don't have a database yet. So let's just create a database called what? Sales. But create 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 database, right? Create database called what? Sales. That's all. So when we've created a database called what? Sales. So that is, if I refresh, I should see sales. It is here. So no tables yet. So now we can create that table here. Let's create that table here. Right, so let's just create that table here. Create table. Then now we create table called what? Sales. This, it can equally be of the same name, right? Create sales. Then, as I said, the syntax. So uh I just need to create the column names. So the first column name, I say what? Purchase what? Number. Purchase number, right? Purchase number. Now after the purchase number, it has to be what? We the data type. So we are saying it can be it is an integer. You see that? We are saying this will be an integer. Then now it is left with what? The constraint. And we are saying we want one purchase number should be here, and we want purchase number to be somewhere. You see that? When we say, if you take purchase number, we want it to be in such a way that when we pick we want to create a database in such a way that we have the sales, we have the customer details, we have the company details, we have the items that the person bought, right? So we want to link, we want to create, after at the end of this table there should be a link between the customers to the sales. When we pick any sale, we should be able to know which customer bought this sales, the items the person bought, the details, so that we can even get the details of the items that the person bought, and so on, right? And even the items too, we can equally go into the items and see which company produced those items. Have you seen that? So it all boils down to what? Relationships. So how are we able to have a relationship of the companies and the things that they create, the items that are there and the companies, the customers that we have? So it means what? We'll have a customer table, we have a sales table, we'll have items table, we have what? Companies table. So we are dealing with what? The sales table first. And we are saying what? It should have what? Purchase number. And as I said, comma. We have not added the constraint yet, right? I've not added the constraint yet. So the next one will be what? Date of what? Purchase. Date of purchase. And that is what? This is just what? A date. This will be a date. Then I go. Then the next one will be what? Customer ID. Which customer bought that thing? Customer ID. Have you seen that? And this will be what? An int, comma. Then I go. The last one will be what? Maybe item, what? Code. The code of the item that the person bought. And this can be what? A varying character, a voucher, and it will not be, the code will not be more than 10. You see that? So when we do this, then we are done. If I close this bracket, this should be done. You see that? We are creating what? A table called this. So if I do this and I run it, this will be created. Have you seen that? But we will not be able to link this table to any other table, because we've not specified, we've not told SQL that we are specifying something here that we'll be using later on, right? So we have to do that together. So it's either this way, I think. We can come here and say this is what? A primary, a primary, this is a primary key, right? We can do it this way. We can do it this way, or we come down. It is either we do it this way or we go down. Mostly we can just go down. We can just come here before we close the bracket. We can just go down like this and say what? Primary key. Then we say what? We open bracket and specify the particular column that we are using for what? The purchase number. So when we say this, then we are specifying that, hey, use this. I didn't bring the comma here. So you see that it is highlighting an error here. So let me bring the comma here so I save myself, right? Okay. So yes, then now let me close this bracket too. That is it. So when I do this, I'm creating a column. I'm creating this table with what? Primary purchase number as what? The primary key. As I said, what? Because we'll be using it for some references. We'll be using it to create what? A whole lot of other things, right? Now, now that we've made this, it is good that we specify the primary key in this table, but we also need, as I said, what? There will be what? There should be able, when we pick each sales, we should be able to what? We'll be creating another table called what? Items. So we should be able to, if we want to link the item to the item table, we should be able to see the details on that. We should be able to see the item and the amount, the price of that amount. So it means this one, there's that big table somewhere, another table somewhere that will be linking with it. So we have to select, we have to make that those things all important, right? We've spoken about the primary key. That means I'm going on the next one, which is what I'm obviously talking about the next one, which will be what foreign key, which is what? It is a primary key somewhere. The foreign key is what? A primary key in a different table that you are using, that you are bringing it here, right? It means this one in the customer table, this one customer ID will be what? A primary key there, but it is visible here. It is what? It is it is what? A foreign key here. Have you seen that? So it means when we go to that table, when we go to the customer, immediately we do this, we'll be able to link information from the sales table and the customer. It means when we pick each customer with each purchase, we'll be able to know which customer bought it, and we can get the customer details from the customer table. You see that? That's how the things work, right? That's how the things work. Okay. So yes, let's just quit that with the customer. So yes, that was the primary key. We've made this the primary key. So when we want to equally add what? Create the foreign key. Just as how we did it, we have to equally the same format, right? Foreign key, foreign key, then we say what? Which one? Maybe this one. For this one, we want to use the cost, we want to link it with the customer ID, because we are saying we'll be creating another table called what? Customer, in which the customer ID in that table, it will be what? This one, a primary key. It will be a primary key, right? So we'll reference it. You have to create a reference. You have to reference it to that table. But currently, I think we've not created that table, right? We've not created. So normally you have to reference, right? So from it, that's the syntax. So after this, you have to tell it which table will it find references. References from which table? Then you say what? Customer, and in that customer uh table, customers, in that table, what is the name of the column over there? It is still customer what? uh oh, customer, customer customer ID. So it is also customer ID over there, right? So when we do this, yep, then now we just close our brackets. I think we didn't bring a comma here, like this. So when we run this, if I run this, I should be able to create this, just because what? No database selected. Or I have to, let me say what? Use sales, use sales. Yeah, so now I've clicked on, let me run this, control enter. So I'm using sales. Now I should be able to run this cell, this cells that we have over here. Control enter. Yeah, fail to open reference customers, just because I've not created that table called what? Customers. I should create it first before I will then come and reference it. Have you seen that? Yeah. So now that I've not created it, yeah. let me just I've not created it yet, so let me just end it here and create this one first, so you know that the primary key has been created, right? Control this, and so you see that this one has been created because this is all. So when I click on tables, I should see this one. So now you see that it has reference int, and it is this is the purchase number is the pk, which is what, primary key. Yeah. So the same way I was talking about the foreign key. Yeah. So if we had that table too, if we had that table too, right? If we had that table too, then we'll be able to what, join, pick information from those two, because we'll be looking at join, we'll be doing joins, yeah, later on. So we'll be able to what, bring those two tables together, just because we this in creating the table we did these things, right? If you don't do these things, joining those stuff will be very, very difficult, right? So that is it for the primary key and the foreign key. They allows you, those things allows you what, to make those things like to, it brings the relationship. Everything we are always saying, we are doing relational databases. Yeah, these are the things that helps us in creating those relationships, right? Okay, so yes, that was it. The next one that we'll be looking at what is what um I think what, if you are creating a column, for instance, let's look at this purchase ID. So maybe purchase one, after purchase one, the next one will be what, purchase two, purchase three, purchase four. You know how it is going. You know that that one, it will forever be plus one, plus one, plus one, plus one. There's no need to even disturb yourself here. You can have what, another constraint. We have another constraint called what, auto auto increment, auto underscore what, increment, increment, auto increment. When you do this and you create it, then automatically that column, it will be filling it. Even when you are entering data, you will not have to add that one, right? You will not have to, when you are inserting data, you will not have to specify that one. It will automatically be incremented for you, right? Okay. So yes, that was so far we've done what, the constraints, we've done what, we've talked about the primary key, we've talked about the foreign key, we've just added how to do auto increment too, right? In creating a column you can specify that it should be auto increment and so on. The next one is what, unique key constraint, right? So you want to say that maybe something, a column that people, a column, the entries in that column should be what, unique. That means you don't want duplicate in that particular column, right? You want the customer, you want something to be unique, right? So in creating it, you can specify, you can say what, okay, I'm creating this column, so just like customer, for customer. So now we can, let's create our customer database so that we can even add this. So now let me send this back. Let me come here. So I want to create, let's create this, create table, create table, and wait, let me take this and this out so that this one joins, this one goes here, comma, so that this one is part of this, because already we are now coming, that when we executed this, the error was because we didn't have this table, but now we are creating this table. So let's create a table so that we can run that one without error. So create customer, we are creating a table called customers, right? Then now we can create the columns, and the column we have what, customer id, customer id, and that one should be what, maybe an int, an int, and that one will be customer. Then we can say what, first name, first underscore what, name, and then we say this one can be a varying character, so because we don't want, but it shouldn't be less, it shouldn't be more than 50 names. Yeah, then we go last name, last underscore name. That one to a voucher. Charlie, we know that their names will not be more than 50. Abba, who are you? That's your name. Your letters will be more than 50 for now. Then we can go the next one. We can say what? Email. Email, right? We can take their email to and we say what? The voucher, and then we can say emails, maybe 50-50, 150. 150, we can just say that one can be 150. Then we keep going. Then maybe number of complaint, number 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 of complaints, number of what? Complaints, right? Complaints. Then this one too can be what? Number of complaints of automatically a number, right? So the next thing, now we are done. This column has this. Now we have to tell it which one is our primary key. So we say what? Primary key is what? Then it is what? The customer ID. As we said, it will be customer primary keys are always what? They are in their table, their primary keys. It means in another table they will be what? Foreign keys, right? Customer customer ID. Customer ID, right? This is it. Comma. Now, as we were talking about what? We were talking about what? This one unique. As I said, what? Maybe now, what do you think we want here? That something we can say even the customer ID should be unique because one customer maybe will not have two different the same customer having the same having the same names. No, so we can say that one, or even the email. We can say the email should be unique, right? So unique is just what unique what key. We can say which column do we want it to be unique, and we can say what email. Email should be unique, just this. So when we do this, I know I'm done. I just need to close the brackets in creating the columns. Then I end my SQL statement with what? My semicolon. And if I run this, I should be able to what? Create this column. I should be able to create this table, right? Uh, or even over here, as we did over there, we can say add what? Auto increment over here. Auto, because we've already done that. Auto increment, right? We can do auto increments over there, right? So that is it. That is it. That is it. So yes. So when I run this, let me run this. Let me run this with Control Enter. I've created this table. Now I can now do the other one too. I can now recreate this one. I can now recreate this one. This table. I'm coming. Drop. Let me drop the sales. Drop sales. Drop table. Drop table. Drop table. And that is what sales. And now let me now recreate this one, recreate this O1 with the foreign. Control Enter. You see that now? Let me come here, sales. If I come to, if let me refresh this. Now you see I have customers. I have, when I click on this, you see auto increment, and you see that customer ID has been highlighted because it is also a key. It is a foreign key. It will use it to relate with another one, right? Okay. Yes. This we are still on the constraints, right? In creating your tables, right? So we've added what unique key to whatever that we have, right? The next one is what we want to add what default key. So in creating in creating our in creating our table, we can say what. For instance, we have what number of complaints here. What if somebody forgets to add number of complaints? Should there be a default number that the person should add? You see that? Or maybe you are entering countries, Ghana, and you know that you have a column name Ghana, and you want the people to input what their country name. But you are saying, oh, what if somebody forgets to input? What do you want to do? What is the default thing? Maybe you want to put the default country is what? Ghana. The default number is what? 2. The default number is what? 0. Yeah, you should be able to do that. right? You should be able to do that. So yes, it is also possible to do it. It is possible to do that. Yeah, right. So by doing that, in creating the number of complaints, you can just come here. Still on, you go to the where after Abi, you've given the name of the column, you've given the data type. Now the default, this one, you can just say what default. Default is what 0. So you can say the default number of complaints is what 0. That means if somebody does not in, input their number of complaints, it should just pick what 0 for you, right? Yeah, that is it. So we've just added this one. So in any of the columns, if you want to keep a default number over there, you just the constraints you add default to it, right? That's fine. So we've done, we just added that one. That was what? Null. The next one is what? Null and not null, right? So in creating another column, for instance, if we say email, we don't want the emails. We want everybody to input their email. If you don't input the email, then there should be you should hit the error. An error should be encountered. We can just say what? Not null, right? Not what? Null over here. And in entering info into this table, if the person doesn't enter what their email address, it will not go, right? The same way as null. If you want to say that, oh, if somebody does not enter their email, forget about it and let's go. You can, for instance, last name. If you say if somebody does not enter their last name, let it go. You can say null. You see that? So if the person enters their last name, you are okay. If they don't enter to, then you are okay with it, right? That is null, null and not null, right? Null and not null. So yes, that is it about this SQL constraints that I wanted to take you through first. Then the next thing that we are going to do, yeah, I think I did it in the last session, but I know the last session was not correct. We had difficulties in streaming, so let me do it again. That's why I've even deleted the database. The database that I sent to you, the SQL file that I sent to you, it is a database that we'll be using from now onwards, right? So that's what we'll be using. This one was for us working on the data types, and the SQL constraints, right? Okay, so now let's do that. Let's load the employees database into our system, into our uh, uh our workbench. Currently, if you look at my database, I don't have what employees, right? I don't have employee, so I want to load that data set. So let's all do it, right? So we are going to do it. I think I sent it into the group, so each one of you should have it by now, right? So now let's go. I can all you need to do is what I think, where is it, server? Yeah, I think it's a server. We go to server, then you see what data export and data import. I want to import data. As I said, there are two ways. You can just open this file. You can just come here, open the file and hit the thunder, and it will execute all the lines. And at the end of the day, the database will be created. Everything, all the queries will be run, and you would have had it created. But the best way is always to import it, right? So I'm in server. I go to import. So when you come to import, we have the file, right? It is either you are importing from a dump folder, but here's the case, ours is not a dump folder, ours is a file. So this or this. So we are importing from a file. So now that we are importing from a file, we just need to move towards. We just need to, you see this dot, this three dots. Immediately you click on these three dots on the right hand side. You see, if you click on these three dots, it will open your C drive. So I have it in my tertiary GTL folder. So if I click, I'll have to go there. I'll be going there, right? If I click, I'll be going there. I'll be going there. So I'm clicking on it. I don't know. Oh, I guess it will not, you will not see, you are not seeing it, right? So I've clicked on it, then I just click on it, I select it, and I open it, right? So I've just done that, right? I've just done that. So I just came here, selected my, I just clicked on the three dots. It's open. Yeah, I, okay. I guess you are seeing it too. No problem. So yes, I just select my employees SQL. Yeah, employees SQL. That's it. So employees SQL. That is it. So if I have it this way, that is supposed I'm supposed to see it down here, but it is not. I'm supposed to see the load down there. It means the output has covered that thing. So I just need to bring my arrow here till it changes to date sign. Then I decrease this one. So when I decrease it, I think it is still not visible. Let me go further. You see that I've made it very, very small. Then I'll feel what? Start import. Start import. So immediately I click on start import, it is working. It is importing. Import is running. Have you seen that? Import is running. So yes, it is being loaded. It is loading, right? It is loading. Okay. So when it is done, it will tell me that it is done. It will tell me that it is done when it is done. Okay. Import completed. Import completed. One of one imported. So that is it. They are telling me, do you want to import again? No, I don't want to import again. I just close this. So I this file, I just close this file. And I'm back to here. So if I refresh this schemas, I should see employees now. So you see employees is now here, right? I no longer, so I'm done with sales. We are getting out of what? Sale. So now I want to use that database. You just type use, then I say what? Employees. Use employees. Yes, this is employees is what we want to use. Now we've changed to employees, right? So when I come here, employees have what? Several tables. We have what? Departments. We have what? Department employee, we have department manager, we have employees salaries and titles, right? So that in this database it has all of this. You see that? So if I click on employees, you see that employees have what? It have how many columns? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. You see that employee number is an integer and that is the primary key. Birth date is date. First name varying character of four same characters. Last name 16 characters. Gender enumerates and it is either male or female. Then we have what? Higher date, which is what? A date. You see that? That is it. Okay. Hello, I hope we are all good and we are okay, right? We are following. I hope today we are not having any hitches so anywhere. So we've missed a lot. That's why today we are just going. We have to go. Right? Okay. Okay. Right. So now we'll be working on. We are moving straight to. We are now starting with what? We are now coming to tackle the select statement right? So let's make sure we make sure we do the select statement today. Yeah, because our time is we are just it seems about 20 or so more. We'll make sure we run we do well with what the select, right? Let's make the select is still on. Okay, so we are coming to do what? The first one is what? Select with what? From. We select from something, right? We select. If you want to select anything, if you are selecting students, you say, yeah, if I'm selecting, I'll obviously be selecting from my class and whatsoever, right? So yes, we'll be looking at what the select statement, the select statement, select statement, and we are going to do what? We select something. We select columns. When you want to select, you select, then you mention the column name that you want to select. Column name. So if you have several column names, you just separate them. Column. So column, the second column, maybe column 4 or whatsoever. Then you select all of this one from a particular table. Have you seen that? From a particular table or whatsoever that you want, when you want to select, right? From, we select from. So that is basically the syntax, right? So now we have this, so we can select all from. Let's select. Let me bring my output, this one, back a bit. Let me bring my output this a bit backward. Okay, so when I come here, let me bring it up this way. So we want to select the first name and the last name. Okay, here we have what? Employee number, birth date, and first name. So we want to select those things. So select, as I said, we want to select what? Employee number, EMP underscore NO. That is a column, right? We go EMP, and maybe I want to select first name, first underscore name. Then we say what? From, we are selecting all of that, right? We are selecting EMP and first name, and we say what? From what? We have a table name, what? Employees, employees, right? Employees, right? So when I just do this, then I run, I should get what? The output. See that? So I have it here. I think the output is also big. I think I should have checked that one. Yeah, try to let me try to make it a bit bigger. So this is it. So you see over here, let me scroll down. You see that those are the names that we have. We have the EMP, the employee number, and the first name. So we had this. So as I said, you can always structure your code nicely. So I can bring the from down here, so that, because SQL knows that when it starts reading, it will only end when it sees the semicolon. Have you seen that? It will only end when it sees what? The semicolon. Are we together? Okay, so yes, this is how we select. So if you have several columns that you want to select, right? I am selecting what? I want to view the employee number column and just the first name. So that's what I have specified, right? The next one is what? You viewing the whole table. Viewing the whole table, it is either you are typing them one by one, or you just say what? There's a wildcard, there's something, there's this star. Star is for all. So select all from what? Employees. Employees. Then I use this. So if I run this, then I get everything on that table. All the columns are there. Then the output is only limited to what? First 1,000. So yes, by default it gives us less, first 1,000. So this, you see that, you see the employee number, you see the dates, you see the first name, you see the last name, you see the gender, then you see the higher what? Date. So this is the first way of we selecting using the select statement, right? This is the first way we select stuff from here, right? So now the next thing that we want to do, as I said, we are now going full time on what? The select statement. So we are going deep into the select statement, right? So we've done what? First is what? We've selected all from employees. Now the second thing, you get every info about the employees, right? Okay. So the next thing that I said I want us to do is what? We want to, this one was a general select. We want to select with what? With where. Maybe where means what? We have a condition that we want to, maybe we don't want to select everything, right? We don't want to select everything over here. We want to select only a few. right? Based on a certain condition. So we can say the same thing, select, we can still go for all the columns. All means you want all the columns, right? So select all columns, all from what? From what? The same what? Employees. That is the syntax. Employees. Then now we are not ending the statement. Then we come where this one, you see how it is going. So we can say what? Where first name, where first underscore name is equal to let's say mark, where first name is equal to mark, then I end my statement. So if I run, you see we are getting only those that what their first name is equal to mark. You see that the first name, all the first name are just what? Mark. You see that? Are we together? You see that? When you see the output, select this one. How many rows were affected? 230 rows were returned. You see that? So yes. So that is the query. So imagine. So we have what? We did one. We can say, we can do again. Select all from what? From, we can equally select also. So you see this output, maybe we want to select only the last name, only what? Employee number, emp underscore what? Number alone, or with what? um Last name, last name, last underscore what? Name. Then we can say what? Maybe add as the higher date, higher underscore dates. You see that? Higher underscore dates. These are the three columns that we want. Where do we want to, where are we are selecting all of this one from where? emp, employees, right? Now we have to bring our condition where we can say, well, this time maybe we can say where higher dates, higher underscore dates, higher underscore dates is, let's say, greater than let's say what, greater than, let's say, 2000 101. Let me say this right. Yeah, so we want to see all those that were hired after 2000. So you see that we return how many rows were affected? 12. So you have a condition, then you use it to what? Bring what? Your print statement. I'm saying print. You're executing. Are we together? So we are selecting only this one. So you see that this one we've specified. So let me just copy this and say maybe this time around we want to select all of these guys. We want to select everything. We are not selecting a few columns. We just want all. So I just put what? Star, right? So we get every info about them, right? So this is what? Select with what? Where. So you select from your table where, then there's a condition, and that is the condition that you have to see. So if you say where this one is equal to this, where first name is equal to mark, where higher date is greater than this, where birth date, those that were born this, you see that? If you have the condition, then the database is there. You should be able to query the database and get what you want, right? I hope we are together on the select so far, right? Okay. So the next thing that I want us to do, we've just done what? Select with what? We did select with where, select itself first, then we did select with what, where. Now we are adding this one, maybe with the end we want to add what? The logical, the end and all, just like we did the same stuff that we did with what, the logical statements that we did in Python, whereby we were doing condition and all. The same thing for end, the two conditions must be met. For all, just one condition must be met, and so on, right? So we want to do that. So let's go. Go forward. So select with what? End. You see that we are bringing select with end. So it means with end means what? We want several conditions. So I'm just pasting with the same thing that I have over here. But this time around, I want what? It is not only condition. It is not only that one. I want to now bring another condition. Have you seen that? Where I want to say where the gender is what? Female. I want only the females. So you see that and what? Gender is equal to what? F. This is what I want. Gender is equal to F. So we get this. You see that? So when I do this, then I'm getting what? 7 columns. Yeah, 7 rows. That is this. These are the females that are there. So we get this. You see that there are only what? 7. Those females. So as I said, maybe this time we want to everything all. So I bring my star. So you see that these are the females that were hired. You see that. So I've added another condition using what? The end. Have you seen that? So my brothers and sisters, if we've done what? End, it means you have automatically done what? All. So let me, oh, sorry. Am I lying? If you do for end, it means you have automatically done for what? All. Right? So when I copy this and come here and say maybe select with what? All. So when I come down here and I paste this, so this time around, instead of this, if I say or, that's what we'll get. Control enter, right? Then this is what we get, right? So it is either, so you see that. So here you see that this one, the gender is female, but the higher date is not greater than, because these conditions, one is true. If one condition is true, it is okay. Have you seen that? So that is it. So yes, that is it for this one. So we've done select with n, select with all. Have you seen that? Right. So those are the two logical statements that we've done. The next thing that we'll be looking at is what? In. So imagine we have some names that we want to check. We have some names that we want to, just as we had what? A list in Python. We did what? We had a list, and we can say whereby if something is in this one, then you get the output. The same thing, we want to print only those that are in some particular names that we will specify, right? Right. So yes, we are here. So we want to go for in and not in. So select with what? Select with in and what? Um, not in. Just this. Yeah, in and not in. So select. This is a comment, right? So when we come down, so we want to do that, right? We want to see. Imagine we had some names, like we want to see only those that we want to see those that their first names are Mark, Dennis, and what? Mark, Dennis, and what other name? Okay, so let's go. We do it the same way. Select. So let's say we are going with all. Select all from what? Employees, Employees. Then we say where. You see that they are all we are still doing where first name, first first underscore name. We could have done what? The way of we doing it, we just say what? Where this in, then you bring a bracket, then you pass your names, then we say what? Maybe what? Mark, then we go, comma, then we go, what? Maybe Joshua, 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 and then Mike. You see that? So we want those that their first names are in it. So we only want those that it's either their first name is Mike, or their first name is Joshua, or their first name is Mark. So it means what? Either you are writing all for all of these things, or you just do it. You just do this. Then you end what? You bring. So you see that. So you get those that are marked, you get those that are Joes, those that are Maki. So you see that. So if I add another one, maybe Nathan, yeah, it keeps going. You see that. It keeps going. So you have Mark, you have Nathan, and so on. Have you seen how it is? So yes, this is one way. So the same way, if we've done this, if we want the opposite, we don't want. It means maybe we want to do some. We want to, if maybe the company wants to reward some people and they've seen that these people there, they don't like coming work, right? So these ones they should never, so they shouldn't be part of the output. So we can say not in this. So you get minus these people. It's more of like you, the info that you are getting minus these people. You automatically eliminated these people, right? Yeah. So that is one way, right? So yes, that is also for not in and not in, right? In and not in. The next one that we could do is what? The next one that we'll be doing is what? Like and so on. Okay. I hope I hope we are okay with what we are doing so far, right? I hope we are okay. Hello. Are we okay? Are we okay with where we've gotten to? Are we okay with what we've done? Is SQL nice? Okay, so as I said, let's do the next one. Hmm. Let's see what we can do again. Okay, so let me see. That Robin say yes, it is nice. Mark, yes. Daniel is saying yes, please. Just that it is a lot and similar and almost similar. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They are very similar. Very, very similar. Very, very. Okay. It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. Let's do a few more minutes and we can close. The way I wanted us to do more today. We've missed so much this. I wanted us to work more. But the select statement is very huge, so I don't think we will not be able to finish the select statement. Yeah, we will not be able to finish the select statement. The select statement has. Okay, so let's do. As I said, we want to do for like. Sometimes, imagine you want to do where am I? We are here. Let me go. Okay, so the next one is what? Select 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 with like and not like. Like and not like. Like and not like. No visualizations here. You take the data. You take the data when you get the output here. You just send the data. So you see over here. That's why we'll be linking it with what Python. That's why this one we just did the intro to Python and we are coming here because we'll connect to the database in our notebooks so that when we write the queries, this output we'll just take this in our data frames and we'll just do our visualizations in Python. That's why we are doing it. That's why we are blending these two, right? Mark, that is the reason, right? You can equally export. As I said, you can equally, if you are not using Python, you can equally come here like this. When you finish, you can just export this output that you are seeing. You can take the output, the out. When you are exporting it, you can export it as what an Excel file. Then you can work. Everybody knows how we already work in Excel. You can do your visualization in Excel, or you load it into your any visualization tool that you want to use. Are we together? Okay. Okay, the next thing that we have to say we want to do, select, right? So imagine you want, databases are very, the database might be so huge and their customer database will be so huge and they'll tell you, this one we are dealing with employees. So we want, ah, Charlie, they will tell you there's one particular, I know we are looking for this particular employee. Yeah, but I know his name starts with, his name is either, I don't know, I've forgotten. Is it Mike or Mark or something? I don't know, but I know it is MAR. Yeah, I know it is MAR, but I don't know the ending. I don't know whether it is Mark or Mike. You see that the moment you have that, the moment the person is telling you that, then that's where like comes in, right? So you can just help. You write your query. Select all from what employees, right? Where first where first underscore what name, like, just like this, like, then you bring what your brackets open. You just open your bracket, then you bring what your quotation mark, then you say what. So this one, what I said, it means what we have MAR, but you don't know the end, you don't know. So we use percentage sign, then you bring what your quotation mark and close it, just like this. When we end it this way and we run, you get an you get what. So it means what we have what MAR, but you don't know what is ending. So now we see this. So we have what? We are seeing Mary, we are seeing Margarita, we are seeing Marius, we are seeing Marion. You see that all of them start with what? MAR. Then the rest goes. Have you seen that? Then the rest goes. So this is one condition. Have you seen that? So yes. So if for instance the person said what and the person is also a female, then that's when you can come here and say and gender. You see that this one there we have gender is equal to what? Female F. You see that? So when we do this, then you get only the females with MAR. Have you seen that? That is just how SQL is so sweet. It's so nice and so on. But we've not. I didn't add this. I don't want us to add it for now. I can just leave it, right? You see that? That is it. So like, so if you want the opposite, then we just say what? Not like. Have you seen that? If you want the opposite, you just keep what? Not like. So okay, so I know the people that I want, it is basically not the MAR guys, right? Yeah, I'm looking for some employee, but it is not, the name doesn't start from MAR. So you just say not like, then the rest comes. You get the opposite. Have you seen that? So let me say this up to here. Let me just say this up to here. Then I come here, I paste it. But this time around, I don't want like, I want what? Not like. Just like this. So control enter. So I get the opposite of this one. So this is what? Minus all the MAR guys. Have you seen that? So this is what you get. Are we together? This is what you get. Okay. So yes, that is for like and not like. This one. So that is one way. Or another way, the like, that is not all. We can go like this. Okay, I have what if I know the name ends with what? MAR. AR. I know the name ends with what? AR, but I don't know how it starts. Have you seen that? I know the name ends with what? AR. So I just bring my percentage sign in front. So I know what the name ends with what? AR. So if I do this and I run, then I'm getting what? Okta, Mokta, Alexander, Sumaka. So I know the name, it ends with what? AR. So what if I know it ends with what? MAR. You see that? So I'm getting what? Utma, and so, right? So it that is just how it is. That is just how it is, right? That is, so you bring the percentage in front, or the ending, right? So they are either words before the percentage or words after the percentage sign, right? If you know this is also in the middle, if this is also in the middle, you know AR is in the middle of whatever that you are looking for, then you can do this. So you bring before and after. So you know AR is in the middle of the names, but you don't know AR is there. You want to say AR is there and there's something before or after. I don't know. So help me. This is what you get. Right. So yes, that is it. Yeah. So the percentage sign allows you to get what? More. But there's one that allows, that is also there, right? That is also there, that we use it to for this, right? I think, let me see. There's this one. There's this one. The underscore, there's also underscore. Underscore is just for a single letter. So when we say one underscore is just a single letter, I know the end is what? It is MA, but I don't know the last word. So you know it is what? You know, one underscore means I know it is left with one word, but I don't know that word. Then I give it. So if you give double, then you know it is what? Two words. If you give double, then you know it is two words. It is a five-letter word, but I know that they start with what? MAR. I don't know the last two letter words. So I've kept what? This one I kept what? Two underscores. If it is one, you give one underscore, one letter, one underscore, two letters, two underscores. Then you will get the output that you want. Right? So that is it for uh, like and not like. Right? So the next one that we'll be looking at is what? Between and not between, right? Between and not between. So we do select with what? Between and not between. Uh, between, between and this one. This, it goes with this. So just as a date, so we can say the dates or the numbers, when it is, when you have some numerical column, integer column, you can say select where the age is between 10, 20 and 50, this and this. Have you seen that? So when you have that, you just go with that. So let's give an example of this select with this. Select all from what? Employees. You see that? Where higher dates, higher underscore date is between, where higher date is with the is not there, right? Between, then the first one, which is what? Between, maybe quotation mark, date is always in quotation, 1999, 1st January 1999, and what? Then the next date, which is what? Maybe 2000, 1st January to 10th January. Have you seen that? So if I do this and I end the statement and I run, I should get only that. All those, the higher date is between these dates. That is what you get. So imagine, let me send this one to maybe September. You see that? So we get this. So between, have you seen that? So immediately it is the opposite of this. You want all those people that were not within this range. The opposite is just what? Just bring a not, not between this and this, not between this and this, and you get the opposite of this. Have you seen that? Yeah. So that is SQL for us, right? So we can go for, yeah, that's the syntax. As my SQL wants us to put the date. When it is date, it's as if it is a string, but it reads it at date, because the column has already, that's just how it works, right? Are we together? Are we? So the next ones that we'll be dealing with is what? The next one, we say what? Select with what? Null and not null, right? It's null and it's not null, right? It's null. Um, it's null. It's null and it's not null. Just that. It's not null, right? So we can go. It's null. That means you want where the data in this place is not null, or where the data in the first maybe in this particular column is null. Just that, now null info. That means that particular the entries in that column are not there, right? If it is null, it means the entries are not there. If you don't want null, it means you don't want those that you don't want missing data, right? Okay, so let's go. Select all from what? From what? Employees, right? Employees, where you see that the where just allows you to bring what? Where first name, first underscore name. Oh, sorry. First name is not what? Null. Just like this, and we are ended, so you get this output. So if you want the opposite, if you want where this one is null, you just have to say where you want to see those that didn't enter their what, their first name. How come? Who are those stubborn people that didn't enter their first name? Funny enough, there were none. That didn't. Maybe let's see, maybe last name. Let's see if there are people that didn't bring their last name. That one to now, almost everybody gave what, their last name. So that is it for null and not null. So we've done what? The others that we want to look at is what? Other, there will be other, other, other comparisons, other comparison operators, comparison. I think I've done what? Equal to. I've done equal to. So when I've done equal to already. So when I say where first name, we've done equal to, right? We've done equal to already. So when I say it's equal to what? Dennis, Dennis, that is one. We did this. So no, Dennis, I think maybe, yeah. So where the first name is Dennis, we'll get an output. This is equal to sign, right? This is equal to sign. So we've seen the equal to sign, and the other one is what? Not equal to. It's just we bring in what? Exclamation mark here, right? So if I do this, then we are getting the opposite. Have you seen that? Then we are getting the opposite. I think for the date I use greater than, right? So there's greater than and greater than. This was equal to and this is not equal to. So I can do select. So the greater than sign. Let me just, oh, I should have just typed instead of where higher date, higher underscore date is what? Greater than. So we've seen greater than what? 2000. So let me just say what? 2000, comma, maybe 11, then let's say 23rd, just like this. And I end. So there's nothing like this. There are no known. So let me say 0101. So I get only a few here. Yeah. So that is it for this. So I can say what this one greater than, it means this one is not included. If I want greater than or equal to, I just have the equal to there. Then I get that. Have you seen that? Then I get that greater than or equal to. Have you seen? Then I have the less than or equal to and so on. Right. So kindly add the previous videos to the playlist. Okay, I'll add this. Yeah, I'll add them to the playlist. So we can use the statement null and not land to check formation values as done. Yeah, 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 just like that. So because when you do that, where it is null, you get it. If it is null, you get those columns, the null values there. So that is it, right? Yeah, the day has been long. Today we tried to get a longer class. Yeah, that is good. So the next thing that we'll be doing is what? Select what? Distinct. Select what? Distinct. Select distinct allows, it's more of like you are selecting without duplicates. Select distinct. Select distinct allows you to select without what? Duplicate. Select the distinct. Distinct. It allows you to select without what? Duplicate. Have you seen that? So imagine I select what? Select C. Select gender from what? Employees. Employees. Let's look at this. When you see that you are getting FM sound, baby, that means the number of rows. But maybe it's just like, yeah, unique and unique. Like unique allows you, unique in Python allows you to see what? The exact entries that are there in that column. So select distinct here to allows you. It just bring, so let's see this. Let's say this. Select distinct. Distinct. You see that? Select distinct. Then I say what? Gender. Gender from what? Employees. Employees. So this. So you see that? It's just like unique, the unique that we had in Python. So when I did this, you see that we only have what? M and F in this particular column. So yes, that is unique. This select distance. Select distance just takes up the duplicates and brings you only those that are not duplicated, right? So that is it. Yeah. Any question for me? Otherwise, we'll leave it here. and maybe Monday we'll continue from here. We've not done yet. We are not done yet. We'll do what the aggregate functions. The way I thought we would have been able to finish select, we can't finish select today. So we'll be doing it. We'll continue select Monday, and we'll continue from the rest. Select, then insert, we'll do select, then we'll continue with insert, then we'll do the others, right? So any question so far? Did you like, were you okay with today's class? Okay, I hope you liked it. If no questions, then we'll have to end from here, and we'll continue on Monday. I think yes, Abrakwa Junior, I will do that. I will add the others with this one to the playlist, right? Please, let's be practicing with whatever that we are doing, right? Those that haven't submitted the assignments, please try. That's the only way for us to know that you are actually following, because it is on YouTube here. You come, and if you don't follow, you don't do what we want you to do, then it is more of like you are not part of the class. You are just watching the videos and you are going. As to whether you are doing it, you are comprehending, you are understanding, we will not know, right? Yeah, I said we will do the Python integration with MySQL. Yeah, we'll do that. I said we'll do that in Python. We'll do that in Jupyter. We'll connect to the database direct in Jupyter. Yeah, we'll see all of that next week, right? When immediately we are done with the statements, then we'll get back to Jupyter and we'll be writing our queries there, right? Okay, so that is it for now. If you don't have any, if there are no other questions, then let's see you all on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. Please practice whatever the few things that the little that we've done. Please practice with it, right? The few things that we've done, just learn it, right? That's fine. Have a lovely weekend.